Today, we're talking about all of the ML cards in Ursula's Return. Why would we do that? There's new cards to talk about. We got to know where we came from to know where we're going. If we don't learn the history, we're doomed to repeat it. If we don't learn about the Diablo Devoted Herald, we're doomed to repeat it. So we're talking about all the cards. Every week, we talk about the colors of the cards in the set. And this month, we're in Ursula's Return. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about these cards, and some of them have a little bit of significance, like this Jasmine might see some play. Probably not, because she costs 5 cost unequal. But starting off strong with the Strong Boy, Lucky Cricket. Strong Boy because it gives a whole lot of strength. This is Cricky. You can play him down for 5 ink, the 3/4 stat line, a pretty good stat line. Usually you see those on 4 cost bodies, but this one has a little secret. It quests for 3 lore. That's a whole lot of lore. And then its ability is also super good. We saw this a lot in Under the Sea decks, and it works pretty good. It says when you play this character, your other characters get +3 strength this turn. +3 strength, if you didn't know, is a whole lot of strength. I'm talking like mind-blowing amounts of strength. It can take out lots of other creatures. When you play this character, your other characters get +3 strength. So this character doesn't get the +3 strength, but that's okay because it doesn't have rush anyways. But if you play this in a red-green deck, a challenger deck with the Shere Khan and the Queen that lets you draw, there's some spice around the Cricky card. Side note, I had a little Cricky toy from either McDonald's or Burger King or something, and I love that toy. I really like this Cricky toy. I'll try to put a picture of it over there. Did y'all have this Cricky toy? Because I know I sure did, and I liked that cricket. This is the Diablo Devoted Herald. If you played Lorcana at all during Ursula's Return or since then, you've probably seen the bird. I call it the bird. When I play it down, I say bird, and then that's it. It's played. This thing is almost broken, but it's not that bad. The foil's only a $5 difference. That's kind of crazy, kind of skibbity if you ask me. And then there's an enchanted version. Super good card. It says during each opponent's turn, whenever they draw a card while this character is exerted, you may draw a card. So you have to have an exerted bird to draw a card. So our opponent would draw a card, and then I'd say, oh, I draw because I have an exerted bird. I said that so many times, it's hard to count, but I imagine it's in the dozens. Floodborn Ally, you can shift this as early as turn 1. You can shift this card on turn 1 by discarding an action card. And lots of people did that because of the good old Buckaroo, the good old Bucky card made this such a good wombo combo. If you haven't seen the Devoted Herald, don't at me in the comment section. We can talk about it more. And then what's even better is this Diablo, because this Diablo gives you hand knowledge. It says when you play this character, you may look at each opponent's hand. So this is super useful. Even if you're not shifting it right away, being able to know what your opponent is going to do is such a good deal. If you're a good Lorcana player, you can look at their hand and be like, oh, this is the best play, and that's what they're going to do. And then you can counter them, kind of, maybe. You can also see if they have a song in their hand, and then you can rip it with the Ursula. Is Ursula in this set? She was in Inklands, right? The 2-drop? Yeah, that was in Inklands. This Diablo, super, super good. The 2 willpower, also great. You can quest this. Sometimes you don't quest it, but sometimes you do quest it because it's going to be taken out. But it won't be taken out if you move it to the Hidden Cove. This is another key card for the Ursula Returns meta. So good. So good. This whole set for Emerald was the best. Gunther over here didn't really see any play. This has lots of lore going on. It says, I hate to cover up this trap door. It really pulls the room together. What's he talking about? Who's in the puppy room? And is this a rat? What is this? Anyway, Gunther, the interior designer, has a 3/3 stat line on a 4 cost. That's all right. He's inkable. And then it's got the Sad Eye Puppy ability, because right there, look at Sad Eye Puppy. When this character is challenged and banished, each opponent chooses one of their characters and returns that card to their hand. Not bad. Might see some play. Kind of a spicy tech, but it's only a common card, so you better believe that it's not the best. We got Gus. This is part of a connecting art. They have this worm. Some people may say this is a yarn, but I say it's a big old worm. They have this worm connecting Gus and Jacques. This is Gus and this is Jacques, and they're in connecting art. So we like to see it. There's a 2/3 stat line. Overall, pretty vanilla. What's his flavor text say? You can always rely on him when it comes to cheese. That's right. These are the little micey roos from the Cinderella anime, and they are all about getting the cheese. The first legendary card that we gotta talk about is Hades the Double Dealer. Kind of an interesting card. kinda never gonna work. Even if it gets even better support, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna do very valuable things unless we get like one drops of really good cards, which I don't know. We don't have a whole lot of one drops of the like big cost cards that we want to go into. Like we don't have one drop Goofy that we can go into the 10 drop Goofy with. But if that was a thing, then you could do it pretty easy with this. It says here's the trade-off. You exert it, banish one of your other characters, play a character with the same name as the banished character for free. So you can do this with Grammatala, and Grammatala will go into your inkwell, and then you also get to play the big Grammatala for free for 7 ink, and you have to do that on turn 5. But if you're playing a Grammatala, if you're playing this in blue green, then maybe you already ramped already. Maybe you do this as early as turn 3 if you're cooking. But otherwise, I don't know. That's like a 3-card combo. Like any combo that you do with Hades Double Dealer is going to be a 3-card combo, and that is just kind of out of the realm of possibilities a lot of the time. 3-card combos, not the best. You got to kind of stack the deck the way you want it to be able to pull off those 3-card combos. Let me know in the comment sections if I'm just going crazy or if 3-card combos are easier than what I think. The 3/3 stat line means that it's not going to survive a lot, especially because you have to exert it to do the thing. This would have been cool if it was like a pay and ink cost to do it, but now what do I know? Maybe the whole thing is that you're not paying in ink to play the character. That makes sense. The Hey Hey, this one was interesting because it gave ramp in Emerald. Instead of Sapphire, it gave ramp here in Emerald. The Hey Hey Bumbling Rooster, the 3 cost, 2/3 stat line, but its ability is where it gets spicy. It says when you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their inkwell than you, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exerted. Don't mind if I do. So you can ramp 2 cards in 1 turn if your opponent has more cards. So if you go second, it's kind of a guaranteed. If you go first, then you got to delay your ink by a turn and then fall behind, and then you're kind of skurdunkity. It quests for 2. It's all right. I've played with it a little bit, but it's never like changed the game for me, if you know what I am saying. The Hera 3 cost 1/3 Queen of the Gods got to Ward. Ward is underrated. Any card with Ward is all right by me. Got the deity keyword and the queen keyword. These are great keywords to have. We haven't seen any deity synergies yet, but I'm sure they're coming. I'm absolutely sure of it. Protective Goddess, your character's name Zeus, gain Ward. Don't mind if I do. Have your Zeuses stay safe and have Hera be safe because he's got Ward. And then it also has your character's name Hercules, gain Evasive. Pretty good support card, and then can also quest for 2, but kind of squishy. But that's all right because it's here to give Ward and it's here to give Evasive, and it's a whole wombo combo piece. If you're building a Hercules theme deck, this is here for you. And look, she's holding Flounder there. Can we zoom into that, Ben? Look at that. Wow. The Jacques matches the Gus's energy. This is Jacques, the connoisseur of climbing. The 1/4 stat line, 1/4 stat line, underrated. One of the best stat lines we've ever seen. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. They can't quest and must challenge if able. A little thing about Reckless is they can sing. Don't get it twisted. They quest for 2. Kind of a spicy card. I've put this in a deck just as a one-of, just to be like, haha, ever seen this card? And that's about all I've ever used Jock for, I'll be honest. This is Jasmine, 5 cost, uninkable, so it's kind of hard to play her down. But her on-play ability, so sick. When you play this character and when she's challenged, each opponent chooses and discard a card. So it's like a Lucifer, just a worse Lucifer. Lucifer's a 2/2. This one makes them discard a card and then can eventually make them discard a card when she quests, but you'd much rather play Lucifer and have them discard 2 cards, if you know what I'm saying. This Bagara costs 3. She's leaning on this little Cupid thing. With love, there's always a catch. What is her flavor text? She didn't get flavor text? You're kidding me. And she got an enchanted card? You're kidding me. The Megara shady deal. When you play this character, choose and discard a card or banish this character. This can work with Lilo, the escape artist. I've used that. A meme synergy deck, like trying to discard Lilo yourself so you could play it from the discard. It's not the best. But if you want to play with no hand, if you want a top deck, maybe it's worth it because it's absolutely huge. This 3/6 stat line, what are they going to do? Attack in a bunch with their 2/2 characters? It's going to take a whole lot to get rid of Megara, but it comes at a cost of discarding a card. But so does Diablo. If you want to shift this thing, you have to discard a card. So what makes this way worse than this? This can quest for 2. It's because it doesn't give you any card draw. Card draw Super good in Disney Lorcana. The 5-cost Megara, this one looks a whole lot like this. And this is back when they used to have alphabetical names. Oh man, it's so nice to read in alphabetical order. Please bring it back, Ravensburger. Megara, liberated one. Look at that. She's holding a little butterfly, the 4/4 stat line. Ward. What do we say about Ward? Always a good thing to have. People always do crazy things. When you play a character named Hercules, you may ready this character. So you quest with her or you challenge with her. You play a Hercules, it readies her up. This is made for like a green steel deck. Or there's also Herculeses in red. But who would do that? That might be kind of cool because there's a 5-cost Hercules that's a 7/3 body. That'd work well. This is the Pain and Panic combo, and it's another connecting art. Lots of connecting arts in this set. Immortal Sidekick 2/4 can quest for 2. We totally took care of that thing you told us, and definitely did not spend the day in Thebes, ticketing chariots and stealing people's laundry. What is bro talking about? This is the panic that goes with the pain, and Pain's up there getting his little booty stabbed by sharp ears. Immortal Sidekick 3/3 stat line. While this character is exerted, if you have a character named Pain in play, your villain characters can't be challenged. But the thing with that is these two aren't villains. They're only allies. These ain't villains, they're allies. So what's the point of having your villain characters not being able to be challenged? It's a 2-card combo that costs 7 ink for 1 ability. Ooh, Pegasus. This one I really liked. I believed in it, and then it didn't do the thing. I played this for DLC Chicago, and it didn't help me. You can shift it, which would make your opponents discard a card because of Bucky, because you're playing a Floodborn, and then it gives, if you shift it, when you play this character, if you shift to play him, your characters gain evasive until the start of your next turn. Then until the start of next turn, super good. You'll want to give abilities and you'll want them to last. And Pegasus Cloud Racer will make it last. Have an evasive and question for 2 on an evasive character as early as, what is that, turn 3. That's a good deal. Given Robin Hood evasive to be able to hit stuff, Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood, this is the Pegasus that you can attack into. This Pegasus is evasive for only a 1 cost. In set 1, we had Pascal. That was evasive, but you had to have another character on board. And then this came along and everybody's like, Pascal, who? Get yourselves a Pegasus. And then people played Pegasus for a little bit, and now he's out of all the decks. This Pete is a super rare, but should he be? You can play him down for 2 ink, but should you? The Born to Cheat. Whenever this character quests, while he has 5 strength or more, return chosen character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. That's a whole lot of setup. You have to give this thing 3 support to be able to use its ability. When are you going to give something 3 support? Not that often. Combo pieces like that are few and far between. This Pete can quest for 2, but at what cost? Why would you play this Pete? The rotten guy. Nobody plays this Pete. I like his facial hair, I guess. And I like his shadows. Minnie says, this is an outrage. And Pete says, no, it's my nefarious plan to steal the throne. Is this the half Hexwall crown? Probably not. People really like this Prince Philip right now because there is a new legendary card that comes out in Arcasia's Island that says you reveal a card and then you play it from your hand. So for 5 ink, you could play this for 9 ink, and that's kind of cool. Prince Philip, the Vanquisher of Foes, 6/6 stat line, so it's pretty good. You can shift it for 6. You're not going to do that. Evasive, that's all right with us. And then it says when you play this character, banish all opposing damage characters. How are you going to do that? You're going to play with Chief Bogo, because when you play a Floodborn with Chief Bogo on the board, you get to deal a damage. It's a whole wombo combo piece, but it didn't do what you think it'd do. It's just a whole nother combo-y thing that's really late in the game, so you don't see a lot of stuff popping off like that. You see items that can like build a board and do stuff. This is Prince Philip, the Warden of the Woods, and there's some purple light behind him. He's got the 3/4 style line. It's all right. He's got the hero and the prince keyword. Great keywords to have. Your other hero characters gain ward. Underrated. This is cool. Hero characters getting ward. I'm all about ward, and this would make for a good deck. Who has a good deck? For hyenas? I don't know about that. Hyenas aren't heroes. The Fates. This is a little Hercules movie thing that we got going on. Storyborn Ally, 2/1 stat line. When you play this character, look at the top card of each opponent's deck. Is it worth it to get that knowledge? Probably not. The Muses, 4 costs, 2/4 stat line. This was not the most impressive card until Zan Syed used it to win And then after that, everyone's like, oh, wow, Muses, that's sicko mode. You can also play this with like Under the Sea decks, and it works really well. It's actually a really good card because it's got that ward, keyword, Proclaimers of Heroes, 2/4 stat line, the gospel truth. Whenever you play a song, you may return chosen character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. And this ability works with Ursula'S ability, the double singer Ursula'S. So that is a wombo combo for sure. The Tor Florist. They say his arrangements are exquisite. His composites and bouquets are so divine, but when the crowds try to come and visit, they always quite a fight to form a line. Is that a haiku? How do we tell if it's a haiku? 4/7 stat line, never seen that stat line before. Zeus, you can give this one ward if you have a Hera on the battlefield. Am I right? This Zeus, why does it want ward? Because you don't want him to be taken out with Madame Medusa, with Brawl action card. You want to give this Zeus ward. It says whenever this character challenges another character, he has strength equal to the strength of chosen character this turn. So if you have a Maui on board, you can choose your own Maui. You can choose any character and you can give it that strength. Quest for 2, but you should use this thing to challenge, because challenging as early as turn 4 with a huge character is a good deal. You can even choose one of your opponent's characters, get their strength. It's a wombo combo. I think I have a deck that I made with this. There it is. Zeus Bounce Green Perp. How do I open in another tab? Do I click it? This is the Zeus deck that I made with it, and people liked it on the YouTube, so I think that it was pretty cool. It's got some aggro stuff, lots of cards from Ursula's Return, because I made this deck in Ursula's Return, and it's got the big Ursula, and it's got 4 of these Zeusies. We love to see it. And then some action cards to draw some cards and put cards back in the hand. Zeus's big challenge, Zeus Bounce, because you can just play it, get some more, challenge it again. You can give it 4 strength by selecting Madam and Fox, give it 4 strength by choosing a goat. You know the deal. And then you can make it even stronger with the Cricky Zeus combo. That's what's up. But it looks like mainly you're hoping to choose another person's strength, an opponent's strength, to be able to get even more strength from it. So that's Zeus, and that's the deck that we made with it. Then into the action cards, we got Dodge. Chosen character gains ward and evasive until the start of your next turn. I think this is an underrated card. I'd put this in my deck to spice it up. The action card, make the potion. Choose one, banish chosen item, or deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. The thing with that is they already have to be damaged. Or you can just banish chosen item. This might see a little bit of play coming up with all those sicko mode items like what Belle is doing and stuff. Under the Sea, underrated. Sing together songs, underrated. You want to be able to sing songs together. You don't need to sing this with Ursula, because if you sing it with Ursula, it's not going to do anything. If you like play it again from the discard for free, it would get it out of your discard, but that's about it. Put all opposing characters with 2 strength or less on the bottom of their player's deck in any order, and the person who played this card controls the trigger. You play this with Kita, the protector of Atlantis, and then you're good to go. Ursula's Trickery, each opponent may choose and discard a card. For each opponent who doesn't, you draw a card. Card draw, underrated. 1 cost action card, you could discard this with Diablo. Why didn't this see more play? I think this is kind of spicy. How dare you double cross me, Ursula shouted, lunging at the other Glimmer. And this is the green Ursula, and this the purple Ursula, and they're fighting over this little silly crown. We don't talk about Bruno. It got an enchanted card, and then it saw a whole lot of play. I've used this card dozens of times. I said that earlier before about another card, but I've used this one also dozens of times. A great artwork. It says return chosen character to their player's hand. Then that player discards a card at random. So lots of times they're going to have no cards because you're playing discard already with Prince John. And then you put a card to their hand. Then they have to discard that card because they don't have any cards in their hand. And then your Prince John lets you draw a card. Love to see it. We don't talk about Bruno. Super good. If you don't have a play set of it, maybe you should think about getting it. Hidden Inkcaster was hyped. I hyped myself about it. And then you don't need the ink uninkable cards. They're uninkable for a reason, and you don't need to draw 1 card with Hidden Inkcaster. Maybe this makes sense with Hiram in the blue-green deck, but who am I? A popsicle for 2? Ew. There's not too much of a benefit that you're getting to ink an uninkable card. If you have that many uninkables, then you're just crazy. Signed contract, whenever your opponent plays a song, you may draw a card. My friend Dylan said that this was the spice, and I believe him. Win all those steel songs are running rampant, this is the item that you want on your field. They play a song every turn, and then you just, boom, whenever your opponent plays a song, you may draw a card. You get to draw cards on your opponent's turn because that's when they're singing songs. They're not singing songs on your turn. Vision Slab, a hard one to master, but it's worth it if you got it. The Vision Slab, at the start of your turn, if an opposing character has damage, gain 1 lore. You can only ever gain 1 lore with this card. It doesn't matter if they have 10 damage characters, you're gaining 1 lore. And then it's got the trapped ability. Damage counters can't be removed. So if you damage them, don't challenge them. Just leave them damaged, and then they're damaged, and then you get a lore. It's interesting. We got 2 locations, and this one is definitely one of the best locations that we ever got. You can see the hidden caster in the back there. Hidden Cove, the Tranquil Heaven, the 1/6, the 6 stat line, means that it can get taken out by Maui Hero to all in 1 shot and on the turn that it's played. This is usually challenged by 2 Captain Hooks, like Captain Hook with that Challenger 3, he'll hit it twice. Some people will throw their Diablos in it to it. Maybe you move your Diablo and then use your Diablo to attack the other Hidden Cove. The amount of times that I've destroyed the Hidden Cove is in the dozens. Revitalizing Water says characters get +1 strength and +1 willpower while here. And that's good because you don't want your Diablo to be a 2/2. You want your Diablo to be a 3/3, and that's why you play the Hidden Cove. Hidden Cove can also give your Cursed Merfolk +1 strength and +1 willpower and make your Hidden Merfolk live more. I call it Hidden Merfolk. It's called Cursed Merfolk. This is another version of Cursed Merfolk. These are poor, unfortunate souls, but the Cursed Merfolks get turned into these? Question mark? 2/7, so it costs 2 to move there, so you're not doing it. You're not paying 6 for this ability, full of the unfortunate, while you have an exerted character here. Opposing characters get -1 lore. So if your opponent is playing like the Little Lord deck from Den, maybe they get no lore because you have this out, but then they just take it out. And you paid 6 ink to delay them a little bit. You paid 6 ink to delay them 2 challenges. Kind of skibbity, kind of works with a hyena challenging deck because you're going to make them challenge into you. And if they challenge into you, then you get cost benefits. We got 3 enchanters, the Diablo, the Jasmine, and the We Don't Talk About Bruno. And that's all of the Emerald cards from Ursula'S Return. We already talked about the Ruby ones last week. So if you want to see me talk about the Ruby cards, I don't say dozens a lot in that video. So if you want to see me not say dozens 5 times, then you can watch the Ruby video at this card over there, that one right there. And yeah, next week we'll talk about the Sapphire cards, but you might be thinking I should talk about the Arcasia's Island cards, and you'd be right. I'll probably do that. Please smash the subscribe button so we can keep on getting better together. Because it's not about if you win or lose. It's about the friends you make along the way. Please smash the subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.